Wadhwa, a man of many voices, who wears many hats, particularly your association with Stanford University and Singularity University. Welcome to Arts+Labs Innovation Central.
Thank you for having me on here.
Vivek, a couple of weeks ago you wrote a fascinating op-ed for newspapers and for TechCrunch about the ways in which Hollywood and Silicon Valley exist in a symbiosis, that they need each other,
right,
and that they can learn and need to learn from one another. Tell me more about what your argument was.
Well, techies don't appreciate what Hollywood has done for them. I mean, I'll tell you from my own experience. As a child growing up, I was watching Lost in Space, Star Trek, then Star Wars, all these science fiction movies, which really inspired me to think big, to think about solving humanity's problems, to think about going to outer space. All of these amazing advances that were happening, it inspired me. When I speak to other techies, Elon Musk is a great example. Elon Musk is now planning to go to the moon. He's planning to retire on Mars. He's developing the Tesla. He's thinking outside the box because he was inspired the same way. He also talked about being inspired by Star Trek and all these science fiction movies. If you started going through all the key people in the tech world, you'll see that their big visions came from science fiction, from the arts. And then look at the role of the humanities, Steve Jobs. He talked about the fact that the iPod, the iPad is what it is because of the liberal arts people that he had in his company. It's not the engineers engineer very well, but unless you have that vision, that design, that elegance, which you gain from the arts and humanities, all you have is code. All you have is grunt engineering work.
How would you explain then the deep-seated hostility that it seems to exist in much of Silicon Valley towards the creative community?
Well, because the creative community believes that Silicon Valley is enabling the ripping off of their content. And
is there any truth to that?
Yes, it is. I mean, absolutely, Silicon Valley has made it possible. The fact that you have peer-to-peer file sharing, the fact you have all these technologies, they're absolutely right that we're getting robbed blind creatively because of Silicon Valley. But on the other hand, Silicon Valley doesn't quibble with trying to control piracy and theft. Their issue is that the laws that were proposed are so broad that they would do damage. They would damage free speech. So what's needed is an in-between. What's needed is a rational dialogue in which both parties come together and agree that, okay, we want to control the bad guys. We don't want the hackers and the spammers and these people who are selling fake goods online, cheating people. No one wants the scum, okay? But we also don't want limits on freedom and free speech. We also don't want websites being shut down if they happen to host a site that they don't know is breaking the law. So there has to be an in-between, and this in-between hasn't happened. And I think the reason for that was because SOPA came out of nowhere, that there wasn't enough dialogue in it. The MPA also has done a lot of damage. The way they've been writing rough shots, suing grandmas and school kids and so on, it's arrogance, out of control, mean-spirited nature that they've done their own industry a major damage through their hostile campaigns. They should have thought it out as to how they're going to do. They were better off doing a charm campaign and saying, look, do you want, how would you feel if your assets were being stolen? If someone was coming to your house and taking your personal objects, you'd feel bad about it. They should have tried to win the public over by educating, and then they should have worked with Silicon Valley to come up with technologies which limit this type of theft. But that hasn't happened. It's been polarized.
Vivek, how optimistic are you about new innovative business models for the digital economy when it comes to music and movies and the rest of the entertainment industry?
The world is changing dramatically. Technology is now making it possible for us to rethink the way we communicate, the way we express ourselves. And also it's reaching the masses. Within the next 2 or 3 years, we'll have billions of people connected via the same medium. So audiences in Zimbabwe and the poorest villages of India will have access to the same arts and entertainment and same knowledge that people over here in Silicon Valley have. So the world is becoming a smaller place very rapidly, and also the technologies available for expressing yourself are changing very rapidly. So major opportunities. There are going to be many multi-billion-dollar businesses made at the intersection of these ideas and technologies and over the next decade or so. So I'm very optimistic that a lot of good is going to happen.
Vivek Wadhwa,
Wadhwa.
got it right the first time. I want to thank you so much for appearing on Arts+Labs Innovation Centre, and I hope you'll come back soon and talk more about the innovative business models which are changing every aspect of our entertainment industry.
Anytime, my friend.